Alright, so it's raining today. It's on Sunday here, and I'm not going to do much today. I got to run up and get a load for my brother-in-law to take in tomorrow. But I'm doing some thinking on that school bus, and it would be a cool thing to turn it into a schoolie. Somebody suggested that. Some of my family suggested that. But what? It's got all those boxes on the bottom. It's kind of gaudy. And, I mean, I could fix all that and, turn it into a schoolie. But, building a schoolie is expensive if you do it right. If you do a quality job, and I'm not a hack. So, if I can't afford to do it right, I'm not going to do it. Especially something that I'm looking to sell. I don't, I can't stand it when people will just jury rig the heck out of something, make it look like it's good, sell it, and then, you buy it, and a couple days later, stuff just starts falling apart. And I'm not going to do that. If I can't afford to do it right, I'm not going to do it at all. And that's just all there is to it. And I can't afford to build a schoolie the right way. So, because when you start looking at insulation and flooring and shower and, toilet, and I mean, there's a lot of money that goes into those things. So, and then you got to find somebody to buy the darn thing, after you put all this money and time in it. And I just can't imagine you'd ever get paid for your time. I mean, you'd have to get some enormous amount of money for it. And there's guys out there that do it. They custom do them. But, and there again, a schoolie is something that somebody, it's like their dream and they want, and there's people out there just like motorhomes. People go and buy motorhomes, because, they don't have the skill set or the knowledge or whatever on how to build something. So, absolutely, you could build it and somebody would buy it. But a lot of schoolies, people want their own custom way. So I'm not opposed to that. I've actually thought about doing that. The FedEx truck I actually bought the FedEx truck out of a necessity. I can tell that story if anybody's interested. It was necessity. Last second necessity. And then we thought, well, we'd make it a schoolie. We were going to go over the road and just live on the road. And it just really didn't happen. Long story short. But then I had thought, okay, well, I could build a schoolie out of it and then sell it. Well, then I didn't, and I ended up using it, and I have used it in several different, with the full box. I blocked it off and put and used it that way, and then I cut it, and now I'm using it this way. So, but I have thought about building schoolies. But like I say, a lot of money goes into it, and then you have to find somebody that likes what your taste was. Maybe they don't like the king size bed. Maybe they want a twin. Well, then now, you have too much room. Or maybe you put a twin in there, or excuse me, not a twin, a queen, and they want a king, but now they can't get a king in there because the bedroom is too small for a king. You have all these things, maybe you chose rosewood or something, to build something out of the cabinets. Well, they don't like rose color, they want, linoleum, I don't know, whatever, so all that being said, I'm thinking about building a hauler out of it for my wife. She does not like driving manuals, so I have this bucket truck I'm actually sitting in right now, and it has a MD, I think 3060 in it, Allison automatic. I think that it is set up for 5-speed, but if I'm correct, I think that there's actually 6 gears in there. You just have to unlock the 6th gear if it's not unlocked, and I don't think it's unlocked. I'm not sure, but so I really hate to get rid of this bucket truck. it's something that's very, very, very handy to have around. You know, a tree falls or a tree's about to fall, or, you know, there's endless stuff that you can use these for. You know, we get ice storms here, so, you know, it's really handy to have. But I could always put a 5-speed or a 7-speed. I got a couple things here. I don't need this thing to be able to travel fast or, you know, anything like that. So I could stab something else in here to get around. So I was thinking about taking this transmission out and put it in the bus. Now I have to figure out how to make it work, because the bus engine DT360 is a 100% mechanical engine, and this transmission is an electronic transmission, and you'll have to have input from a few different things. I'm not 100% sure what, so I'm sure it's probably a pretty easy swap. I mean, people put, you know, Allison 2000s behind them, you know, and Allison 2000s are, you know, electronic transmissions as well. So, you know, it shouldn't be some impossible feat. But I would put that in there, and then I would probably build some kind of a dove on there to where she can pick up cars. She does really, really well. Her and her sister, they really like to go out and buy cars for scrap and stuff like that. And but I was thinking that I would like to be able to lower it. Yeah, I could. It's got 22 fives on it, but you know, or 24 fives. I could put 22 fives, but that's really not lowering it very much. I would like to be able to find out a way to actually reverse the springs. So put the springs on the bottom of the axle. I don't know the logistics of that or anything like that. I know that some trucks did come like that, so it's not, once again, not something impossible. But I'd like to lower it for the fact of, if I was wanting to go and pick up like one of these trucks, like a 4700 or something, or any, you know, medium duty, that we could get it on there without being overhyped. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and then eventually I would put a Stinger on it so you could carry two. I want to leave it as long as I possibly can. I believe that the total length of a vehicle can only be 40 foot of a single vehicle. That's why school buses are 40 feet. That's the total you can be. I don't know how long that one is. I don't know if it's 35 or if it's 40, but so I might have to. So two things I could do is I could make the Dove where it comes out on hydraulic. That way that the truck can be, the bed can be as long as it can. I don't have to shorten the wheelbase in order to get a Dove to be slanted far enough. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to have to think about and try to put in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. The other thing I'll have to do is, this is an air truck, so it does not have a brake on the back of it, so I have to find a brake for it. Or just put a line lock in that truck, which I want a brake on it, so I'll just find a brake. I'm sure I can go to the scrapyard somewhere and find one, or just buy another truck. So, and this has a PTO on it. So one thing I was thinking about was having where the wheels go on the deck, having it be able to raise up so that you can get under it and do whatever you need to do. So I think that would be cool. Maybe it would be nice to have not where the wheels go, but have it actually like more like a lift, like a shop lift, where it has arms that normally are sunk down flush with the bed, but then you can hit your hydraulics and they'll come up a little bit, and then they'll be able to swivel, and you can put that on the bottom of the vehicle and lift the vehicle up and be able to take the tires off and stuff. You never have to remove the vehicle from the truck. You can do everything from the truck, and that would be another good thing, to have it lowered to where you know, you can do everything from the ground easily and comfortably, taking the wheels off and stuff like that. I think that would be phenomenal for my wife. I think she would really enjoy that. She likes to go and get vehicles. I like going and getting vehicles, but I don't like dealing with the asshole people. You know, my stuff's worth more. You're a liar, cheater. You know, you're. I mean, I could go on and on. The people that, you know, you drive halfway across the freaking state, and then you know it. You know, oh yeah, it's got the cat on it, it's got all the aluminum wheels, and it's got this and it's got that, and you get there and you don't have a damn thing they said, and it isn't worth half what you offered based on what they said. You know, there's people out there that'll sell you stolen vehicles. You know, and I know somebody. They bought like like 4, 5, 6 vehicles, and they were on camera. Buying these vehicles, and praise the Lord, they got a bill of sale from this guy, and it traced back, and they didn't they did not get in any trouble. This other guy got in the trouble for you know, selling stolen vehicles. So I don't like liars. And I don't do very well being lied to. I don't lie, and it crawls all over my skin when people lie, and when people act like assholes. You know, there's no reason in that. There's just no reason in being a jerk, and so I don't do very well with that. You know, I'm not a angry type of person, but when you start being a jerk to me or lying to me, I become a very unpleasant person to be around. So but my wife, you know, she can handle it, and there's other people out there, they do well with it. They can handle it, they can, you know, let it roll off their back, and but I'm not a duck, and so yeah, I think it would be a handy truck to build for her, and I think she'd like it. So, and that's a lot better than dragging a trailer around with her pickup. You know, her pickup, you know, it's a 2009 5.4, and you know, we have put all the money in to fix all the problems and stuff, and you know, we've got like $6,000, and you know, it was $3,000 to fix all the factory screw ups, and then we got another $3,000. Half that was probably a rip off. Ford dealership up in North Dakota. They were a joke. But anyways, you know, it's got, I don't know how many miles it's got on it, probably 200 some thousand, I would imagine. I don't know, but you know, you keep dragging a trailer around with it, it's not gonna last for very long, you know. And being a 150, you know, they're made to take a freaking boat to the boat landing, you know, a small boat. They're made to haul your trash off, you know. They're not really made to, you know, I mean, can they work their ass off every day dragging cars around? Well, sure they can. I mean, we use that truck a lot, you know. Sure they can, but they're not gonna last as well as, like, let's say that bus. And the thing is with that bus, if something breaks on that bus, like I told her, I can grab a box and a freaking roll of duct tape and come and get her off the side of the road, you know, get her home, you know. Something breaks on that damn 5.4, it's probably going to be something internal in the engine that I can't fix on the side of the road, you know, and then it's going to be Lord knows how much money to fix it. That bus, something breaks on that bus, buddy, there's nothing on that bus. It is going to be out of scope of grabbing something or some junk metal laying around here, taking it to a scrapyard to get a little bit of money to fix it, you know. I mean, so it'll be comfortable. It's very comfortable, and being able to have that back there with, you know, kind of like I have the FedEx truck. You know, her and I, we drove that Super Duty around for a long time, scrapping. And there was a lot of times where we would go, you know, I mean, I'm a person that I don't stop. When I get to doing something, I don't stop. I don't know if I addicted to it or what, but we would spend nights in that thing, you know, and it's actually pretty comfortable to sleep in. You know, just lay your seat back. But I mean, that's not the way you want to live. But you know, if I left a little bit of room in there, I could put, you know, a bed in there, and you know, just a small little twin or something like that. That way, that if she is out later, or I'm with her, and you know, her and I are going and doing, you know, we can easily sleep comfortably. You know, so you know, put a little refrigerator in there. A person can carry some water and, you know, lunch around with them. You know, if you got the room, may as well use it. You know, and there again, if I ever did want to take it over the road, hey, you know, I've got the amenities in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Not today because it's raining, but I think that's what I'm going to do. So y'all stick around and see me turn that bus into a hauler, car hauler, basically. Probably, I would imagine that the grader will be scrapped. I don't have a use for it, a long-term use for it. I'll probably, when it dries up here, probably next week. Well, it is already next week. It's Sunday. I'll probably, you know, make this look a little bit nicer around here, and then go over to my in-laws and do their driveway, and then just haul it to the scrap yard. I can rejuvenate that money and go ahead and build the bus, and kind of move forward here. Trucks is more of the thing that I like building. I mean, the grader's awesome. It's cool. It's a cool thing, but I don't have a long-term use for it. I do have a long-term use for the money that I could regain from that.